Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Archis. So I'll be the instructor for this session. So this week we'll primarily cover doubts from week 3, and if at all there are some doubts from week 1 and week 2, we can also cover that at the end of the session. All right. So this is an open session, right? So we won't be having any content that we'll be presenting today. So we can start with your doubts right away. Uh,
So I have a doubt regarding inodes and hard links.
okay. Sorry. Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
So like what actually is inode and hard links? Like I have a doubt regarding that.
Okay, the thing is, I know. So all your data that is stored in your hard disk, right? So they have some addresses. So inode is a unique address which like points to that place where your data is stored. Okay, and in case of hard link, the inode numbers should be same. So it just basically says where your data is stored and how it is stored.
Then what's the difference? Like what is hard link then?
That's what. So see, basically the nodes, right? So it keeps track of how the data is stored. Okay, and suppose you create a hard link, so you create two files. Let's say you create a file which is hard link of some other actual file that we'll call the actual file actual, and the hard link we'll call it hard link, and soft link we'll call it soft link. Okay, so when you create a hard link of the actual file, the hard link will point to the exact location where like actual file is created. So it will point to the same data point where that is actually stored. Whereas your soft link, it will create a copy of your file, and then it will point to that copy basically. So soft links are nothing but shortcuts in your Windows basically. You don't have hard links in Windows, but the shortcuts that you create in Windows are soft links. It will be a copy of where that data is stored, and it will go to the data whenever you try to access it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, like is it clear for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure. We can move on to the next question then.
May I ask?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to know, like, if I have some hidden files and I want to copy them or move them, so how to move them? Because I think if you do this star dot something, like I have some hidden text file, then you do star dot txt, they will not move, I guess.
See, the thing is start.txt. The star is basically replacing whatever content you might have before your before the extension.
Yes,
Okay.
but
So when it refers
your
to all
voice
the
is breaking.
files in the
Your voice is breaking. I cannot hear you. Is it for me only?
Sorry, is it fine now? Is it fine now? Is my voice fine now?
Yes. Now I hear. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So whenever you refer like star.txt or star dot something, it actually refers to all the files in the current directory or whichever directory you want, which has the file extension .txt. All right. So hidden files are not necessarily given because you don't want to access it by mistake also. So hidden files don't have the .txt extension. They might be different files, and whenever like you do something like remove or you copy some copy some files that you created from one directory to another, you don't want to make changes to that hidden files. They are hidden for a reason. If you so in that case, you have to specifically mention that you have to move this hidden file to whichever directory you want. So that's a foolproof basically, right? You can call it like that. So even without knowing, you should not delete them, or without knowing, you should not move them. So that they're having that hidden tag just for this reason.
Okay, that's why even if I have created a hidden file, I cannot copy it using this
Yeah,
start function.
yeah.
Okay.
So you have to
Okay.
specifically say you want to copy that file. You can do that. Like if you
yeah,
just call
yeah, that can be done. I was thinking if there is a method, if we specifically want to copy this using something like star dot, if I have like dot txt or something like this. Okay, but it's not possible, right? Okay.
no, basically that's like a foolproof, right? Basically, you don't want to do that. That is why you create a hidden file in the first place.
Okay. Just I was just trying. Okay.
Okay, so just to clarify, my voice is audible, right?
Now, yeah, now it is very. It's better.
Okay, sure. Yeah, we can move on to the next note.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, I use VirtualBox, and so the command hwinfo is not working.
So you have to install it. Basically, you did you do sudo apt get install hwinfo?
No, sir, I didn't do that.
Yeah, so you have to install hwinfo before you access that command.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir, even in USL, we need to install it.
Do you want me to put it in the chat so that you can use that command? I'll put it in that chat.
Yes, sir, it will be helpful if you can.
So you have to run this. So basically, this will install that command to your VirtualBox, and then after this, you will be able to call your command hwinfo.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Sir, I have one question related to the previous question. It seems that if you do dot star, it seems to be able to unhide or show the hidden files without using that /i command
That
with
is
the
because
ls.
that is because you are using dot star, right? So that is the reason. It's not star.txt, it's dot star.txt. There's a difference.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
sir.
wanted if you can move only certain extension like .txt or .doc hidden file. Like if you do all, then I think it will move. But if you
Yeah.
selectively want, that is not possible for hidden files.
Actually, you should be able to do it. So I'm not sure, but what you can do is right now you might not know about this. So all hidden files will have either a dot in the start or some kind of dot ignore file stored in the directory. So you can try to access that file, or you can try to exploit that dot in the beginning to just move hidden files. So there is one thing called regex. I think that will come in your week 6. So probably you can wait till that, and then you can try after that.
Okay. But certainly, right now I just tried. Like there was a question in I don't know graded or practice assignment. So something related to it I was trying. So I checked that hidden file with star dot something you cannot move. That's why.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, basically you don't want to do that. So if you want to do that, that should be a way to do it. Like you just basically that's what I'm saying. You can try to reference that somehow, and then you can do that.
Yes.
Sure. So can we move on to the next question?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, can you explain the programming assignment question 3 on week 3?
Can you just give me a minute? I'll just take programming assignment, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it PPA or
Practice.
GRPA? Practice
PPA.
programming.
Yeah.
Just a minute. So basically, yeah.
And today we are discussing some questions. I just joined just now. So are those questions there in the REPL team?
No. So today is an open session. We won't be discussing any questions. Questions will be discussed on Friday. This is just a doubt clearing session.
For week 3?
Yeah. No. We'll first finish off week 3. If at all you have any doubts in week 1 and week 2, we'll take it up after week 3. Okay. Sure. Yeah. So someone asked about PPA 3, right? So yeah, what is
Yes.
that problem then?
Sir, there is mention that we have to use 2 as an argument, right?
Right. So the thing is, think in I think in lecture 7 or lecture 8, you have redirecting file outputs. So there are two file streams, right? One is your standard out and one is standard error stream. So you can redirect only one thing specifically by using the greater than operator, and then the other thing using two greater than operator, right? So those two are like different operators. So basically, the argument 2 is given as a hint for you, and you just have to redirect the standard error stderr to your error log file.
So we have to use only two greater than, right, sir? We don't need
Yes.
to use pass two as an argument, right, sir?
No,
Test
you don't
two
have.
and
Yeah, just
okay,
two greater than.
that
That's an operator which you use together.
okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so we can move on to the next question.
Hello, sir. I think the bandwidth is not too good.
Sorry, did someone say something? Yeah, please go ahead. Hello. Okay, so if you have any like doubts regarding your practice assignments in week 1, 2, 3, you can ask me right now. So like we can take that doubts right now if you have any. All right. So if there are no doubts, I just would like to ask a few questions. So is there anyone who still could not get their terminal or WSL or anything to work till now? And like, if there are some issues regarding that, I think we can try fixing it right now.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Sir, can you please talk a little bit about flag set in Bash?
Sorry.
Flag set in Bash.
What is it? Flags.
Flag in Bash.
Flags. Okay, right. So basically, they are like arguments. So you know Python, right?
Yes, sir.
So in functions, you pass certain parameters to your functions, right? So for example, you want to add two numbers, and you define a function which takes in two numbers and returns the added sum of those two numbers. So these two numbers are parameters here, and you specify which parameters you want to give. So, sometimes in Python you can default some parameters. Let's say you don't give the two numbers, but you when you just call add of that function without any parameters, let's say you want to return 0, you can do that, right? So similarly in Bash, these flags are parameters which allows you to get more information from that command. So for example, let's take the command ls, right? So you have certain flags for the command ls. So ls minus l basically will give you the long list of all the files in the directory. So minus l will activate this function with this specific function in ls, which will give all the details about the files. Minus a will give hidden details. Minus I will give you inodes. So these are all special activation functions, you can say. And you can use these on top of each other. Suppose you want L, that is long list, as well as your inode numbers, you can give minus Li. Basically, these are something like I want this up. So you have multiple switches, let's say in a room, and there are so many lights. Okay, each switch will correspond to one light. You can switch on one light, and sorry, you can switch on one switch, and then one corresponding light will turn on. So these switches are called your flags, and the light is your output basically. You can, and if you want to switch three lights on, you can press three lights, basically pass three flags here, and then you'll get three lights that are like that turn on, right? So you get three different outputs on your LS. So something like that is flags. And flags are also useful. Suppose you have a function, suppose you have a how do I say,
Command.
suppose you have, sorry.
Sir, this is something different you are talking. In definition, professor actually wrote that when cell is launched, it would have launched with certain options that is already set.
That's what. So these, not all options are launched directly, right? So do you want to know default? Actually, I didn't get your question. Flags. This is what flags are. Okay. And sometimes when you launch a program, there are default flags that are launched. So if you put dollar minus, you get the default flags that are launched.
Yes, sir.
So
there are lots of options here. H, B, I. What are the meaning of these all options?
Okay, right. So with respect to which function are you talking about?
Sir, I don't know much more about this, but I think when bash is launched, bash will be launched with certain options as of definition, what you written here.
Right. So okay. Yeah. So basically,
is this specific to any program or any command, or is this specific to bash only?
No. Flags are specific to one command. Okay. Suppose you have a command. Let's say, for example, ls. Ls will have its own flags. PS is another command. Will show what the processes are. That will have different flags, and then CD will have different flags. Every command will have different set of flags.
Yes, can you please show these all things on terminal, please, sir?
Sure. Just give me a minute. So yeah, can you see my terminal?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically, you suppose you want to know this is my ls, this is what is my output of my ls, and if I give ls minus l, it is giving me the long list. And if you want to know what and all flags ls command has, all you have to do is do man ls. Okay, so man is your man page, and this man page will contain all the flags that your ls commands take. So for example, you have ls minus capital F, it will display a slash immediately after path name. And suppose you want minus capital H, it is going to give something. And so like the most used one will be, for example, you have ls minus a, right? So that is entries whose name begins with a dot. And ls minus d, directories that are listed as plain files. And you have all these tabs, right? So ls minus h is called human readable format. So when you do this ls minus l, it returns the number of bytes that your file is taking, right, in your space. So that if you put ls minus h, it will give you in a human readable format, so that you don't have to do that math. So there are 7 digits. I don't know whether it's a kilobyte or megabyte. So in that case, you use minus h. ls minus I is for inode number, and ls minus l is for listing the files in long format. So these are all different flags that ls takes. Now, if I want to do some other, for example, man ps. So this will be my flags that my command ps will take. So it also says here, ps is called process status, right? So these are all my flags that my command ps takes. So whichever command you want to do, you just put man command. So you'll get that all the flags, you get all the details about your man, about your command basically. And suppose man command does not work, you can put help command also. So basically, help and man are two different things. Man is from your Linux kernel. Help is from help will work if you have your command set up in your terminal. So I think sir discussed about the 3 types of terminals in some lecture, right?
Yes, sir.
So what happens is in some terminals you have some specific commands which you can access only in that terminal. I mean in that command prompt, whatever. So that in that case you use help, and if at all that command is there in your native Linux system, then you use man. Okay,
Yes,
and
sir.
you can also Google it. So if you Google the flags for ls, you will get some page where you can find all the flags for ls. But if you want everything to do it natively, use the man page. That is very, like, it is already very informative, and it gives you all the commands, and it gives a detailed description of what each flag does.
Sir, are
All right.
flags and options same?
uh, yeah, technically flags are options.
Flags are option. Like you told me that ls minus l. Somewhere it is somewhere I read that minus l is an option, and
Yeah,
you told me this is a flag. So
flags and
you
options are
are
same.
oh, okay, sir.
It's just calling two different things, right? You can, yeah, it's the same thing.
Flags can be with or without hyphen.
No, all flags should be like prefixed with a hyphen. Sometimes what happens is you have flags that are long. Okay, so I'm not sure.
No, let us see man PS.
Okay, see, every flag will be starting with an f, sorry, with a hyphen, and there are some flags. I can show you one flag, just give me a minute. So, for example, man file, you have this two hyphens, right? So you can either call the short form, that is minus b, or you can call it with two hyphens, the full form minus brief. So these are, so every flag will, if you are using the short form, you will prefix with one hyphen. If you are using the long format, you will prefix with two hyphens.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Could you please again do man PS and scroll slowly downwards?
Okay. Why do you want me to stop? Let me know. Should I stop or should I go on?
Please go on.
Sir, one thing I want to mention.
What I want to state is that, see, I'm using Ubuntu
Okay.
through flash drive, and there I'm doing man PS, and here you are doing man PS on Apple. Both are
Just give
giving
me a minute.
different kind of options.
Okay, just give me a minute.
Sir, I want to mention that also even in WSL versus your terminal, it's same thing. There's no slasher option in our terminal.
That's fine. That is just different man page, right? Like that is fine. That's not a problem. So you can update man page. You can update man page. You can do apt get uh, update, and so if you use this command, so I can put it in the chat. So this should update all the default packages that you have, and from after that you should get all those flags. So yeah, I'll do man ps here. Sorry.
Sir, I have another question.
Yeah.
When I type echo dollar hyphen and we get something in some special string, so
Yeah.
what is that?
Those are all also flags only. Um, okay, so this is some other. Okay, so it's not working in Docker. It's fine. So I'll just pass my like my terminal screen. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, so are you able to see my terminal right now?
Yes, sir, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll clarify about that ps minus r thing. Like, so if you just update this, update all the packages that you might have in your system, then it should technically work. So that might be because you might be having a older man page, and after that your ps command got updated. It added, like, they added more flags. That might be the case. All right. So try to update that. If it still does not work, then maybe we'll look into that question after that.
Sir,
Is it
can
a,
you Sir,
sorry.
can you run ps/r in your terminal, that Mac terminal?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
What does PS give? I think it does not give anything extra, right? Giving you the same thing.
Yes, sir. Actually, in my WSL Ubuntu terminal, ps.r gives an extra stat column also.
Okay. See, that is also a thing. So all your commands are device specific. So that is why we would suggest you to use Docker or something. Or if you use WSL, there's a huge difference between WSL and native Linux, because it's more of a it's like hypervisor. I don't know, how to explain it to you. But if you try to use it in VirtualBox, or if you have native Ubuntu, then your commands will be working slightly differently.
Okay, sir.
I think, sir, it would be better to say WSL is something like a Jugaad type of thing.
Not necessarily. Sure, you can say like that.
Yes.
So on my, Ubuntu on flash drive, I am doing PSR and PS-R. Both are giving the same thing, but the inode are different.
I know they're different. Okay, that
Sorry, PID are different.
okay. Are you sure? Because the thing that I am having are same. I know it should. I mean, PID should not. Basically, process ID.
R and PS space minus R process IDs are different.
I mean,
Actually,
is it in
those are separate processes, so they'll definitely have different PIDs.
No, they should be the same processes. So my ZSS is my terminal. That terminal should have the same process. I'm having two terminals, so there are two different ZS, like two different processes. It should not be different.
No, sir. He's talking about the PS shows its own runtime, like its own PID, and that will be different every time you run it. That's, I think, what he was referring to.
Okay, the process ID for PS command will be different, but others should be same.
I asked in the
Right.
beginning, all the flags need to have a hyphen before them, or they can be without hyphen as well. You said it should be a hyphen before the flags, but
Yeah.
in the Ubuntu terminal, PS space R, PS space minus R, both are they working with different process IDs. That's what I'm telling you.
That is because it's a different command. The PS space R is not a flag. PS space R is a command. PS space minus R is a flag.
But output is the same. What does that output mean? I can read out the output to you. It says PID TTY stat time command. Command
Yeah.
is
So
PS space R, PS space minus R for the different process IDs. But the TTY stat time both are same.
right. See, the thing is, the PS minus R command is a different command. PS space R is a different command, and these two commands should have different process IDs. If they're the same command, then when you execute, like the thing is, you are executing two different commands, even after one after another, right? So they should have different PIDs. So let's say you run PS minus R in one terminal, and in another terminal you open it and then you run PS there. So this PS minus R in one terminal and PS minus R in the other terminal will have same PIDs. Why the PID is different is it's a completely different command that you are talking about. Okay, wait. Let me share my Ubuntu screen only. So I think that will be more helpful for you guys. Okay, so is this what you're talking? So if I put PS minus R, I'm getting 6872. If I put PS space R, I'm getting 6872.
Yes.
Okay, so the thing is, PS minus R is a command, and that command will have a PID associated with it. Okay, so and PS space R is a different command. That different command will have a different PID.
Yeah, so PS minus R, so here it is having a flag of R.
Yeah. So you see the difference, right? So this is PS command with the flag -R. This is a PS R command. The command is different.
Okay, thank you.
So all flags will actually should be prefixed with a hyphen. Okay. So if you put LSA, nothing will happen. But if you put LS-A, you see something is happening. PS.R is a different command, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. So yeah, Windows WSL
Sir,
works. Oh, sorry for not reading the chat. Yeah, please go ahead.
sir, there are three words. Sometimes I used all those words interchangeably. Maybe my understanding is limited. These three words are bash, shell, terminal. Can you
Okay.
please explain all these three terms?
Yeah, Bash is nothing but a programming language. Shell is where you shell is the place where you run that programming language. Terminal is one of the ways you can run that shell. All right. So how do I say? Python is a programming language. Your interpreter is your shell, and the IDE that you use is terminal.
Yeah. Here you are showing terminal or shell.
I'm showing my terminal.
Then shell is that we cannot see, right?
Shell is basically your interpreter.
Interpreter.
It talks between, so it's basically the intermediate between my terminal and my laptop, my
Operating
processor.
system.
Yeah, my processor, operating system. Yeah, whatever. So
Yes.
shell is my interpreter kind of. Terminal is my IDE. Python is my programming language. Sorry, Python is Bash.
Yes.
You get the analogy, right?
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, if we do ls minus LA,
Okay.
LA or AL, this will list all the directories, right?
Yes.
So in your case and in the video, professor shows that the administrator is root. But
Yes.
in my virtual box, I am the administrator. It is showing my name only.
That is fine. That is you can rename that from a root to something else. That's not a problem.
So it will not be a problem, right?
No. So this first root that I am highlighting right now is your user. This second root is your group. So
Right.
for my case, it is root and root in both cases. For you, it might be different.
Okay.
That's fine. That's not.
And for the ampersand symbol, that shows if the first command doesn't get executed, the second will not get executed, right?
That is this command, not ampersand. So 2 times pipe. So this is called or. Ampersand is these two. So this is called and. Okay. So when you use or command, that means if the first command is not executed, the second command will execute. If you use and both the commands will get executed.
So, but Sir said while using ampersand, if the first command doesn't get executed, the next one will not get executed.
Yeah. So basically what and mean, so it is basically and. Okay. So only if both the commands will get executed, you will get a print. I mean, you will get a output. If there is some problem with one command, the other command also will not get executed.
But sir, if the suppose the first command is executed and the second command gives the error, but it is getting executed, na?
Yeah, that will happen because see, it is executing in an order. Okay, so what happens is the first command will get executed, and then the second command will get executed. So there is no delay. After you get the output of first command, it automatically comes into your terminal. Okay, and then only your second command is executed. But when you use let's say you get an error in the first command. Okay, in the first command itself, the program stops because it does not know how to move forward. Okay, so that and says that only if my first command is executed, my second command will get executed. Okay, but this or that is 2 times pipe operator. So what that will say is, if my first command is executed, I don't need to execute my second command. But if my first command is not executed, I should execute my second command.
Right. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So you have to see that order that you write it in, basically. That is important. Okay, yeah. Can we move on?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, so if you have more doubts, we can take it up. Uh, I've not read the chat, so let me read the chat and see if there are any questions. Okay, all right. So just to remind you guys, the submission deadline for week 1 and 2 is tomorrow, that is 12th January, and the deadline for week 3 is on Sunday. Right? There is no change in that.
I have one question. Can you explain one thing? Are you using that Mac terminal, no?
Proper Ubuntu. Can you hear me?
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is not
so okay. So one thing is there. Can you explain that which type of encoding they use to display the result? Suppose that man ls. So whatever the display comes with the indentation and everything. So which type of encoding they use?
which type of encoding?
Yeah, because that yeah. So there is a gap and the space is there. So whenever we try to put in the file, it's not coming this way, proper way. It's coming in the some different way.
Whenever you try to, okay, so that is because it is formatted to make it like, okay, let's try it out.
.txt, anything
Whatever.
.txt.
It's coming
No,
correctly, right?
no. It is coming fine when it is coming, but if we see directly on the page.
Okay, that is because it is so there might be some escape characters that will get formatted in your terminal, but that might
Correct.
not happen when you open it in notebook or whatever, notepad or like Sublime Text or something. So
Yes.
those, yeah, it is not relevant, right? Like the encoding might be dependent on which terminal that you are using. So even so right now I'm not using my ZSH. So this is like a proper bash terminal. Suppose I change my terminal it's to ZSH or something, so that might use a different encoding.
So what is the best way to print that anything on that text pad or the notepad?
You should always read it in terminal only. I think in a few weeks you will learn about different editors that you can use in terminal. I think you should. I'm not sure whether sir has already done that, but one lecture will be there about different editors in terminal. So you can use one of those to view it in terminal.
Yeah. So there is a beam and some terminal is
Yeah,
edited.
Emacs is there. Yeah.
No, but actually I want something in the text and I want to read some text. So the entire thing I want as in the text because I want to read text as the text, or I can use further this particular text in some other place in other programming language.
Okay, so let's put, so we want man ls
File.txt. Yes.
Yeah, so it is in ASCII text only, right? So there might be, so since it is ASCII, there might be some escape characters that might be involved. So that might be the reason why you're not able to view it.
Yeah, it is coming the some ASCII character 8 every time between whenever the hyphen and the argument is there, flag is there, hyphen and flag, no? So between
Yeah.
every flag means every hyphen comes like that hyphen ASCII character 8 and hyphen like that. So
What
the
character?
like that minus b is there. Suppose ls minus l is there, no?
Okay.
So minus L, instead of coming minus L, it's coming minus minus LL. That means
Oh, like
correct.
this is.
Yes.
All right.
So
Okay,
you can
that,
yeah. So that type of thing it's coming, and when you see in some other places in the Sublime text, it's coming the minus hyphen and the ASCII character 8 or the 0 cross 08, something like that.
Okay,
So
okay,
how
that
to
might be. Okay, I understood your problem. So there is, you can always go to the Linux page, and there'll be a there'll be a manual associated with every version. Each version should have all the command pages and all. You can take it from there. That'll be a proper formatted, readable version.
okay.
See, the problem with I understood your problem, but it is implemented to view it in terminal. That is a thing. So I should probably, I'll probably get back to you. I'm not sure about it.
No,
Let me maybe.
suppose I'm doing one thing. Suppose the tree structure of the file structure I'm doing. So I'm not going to analyze that the hierarchy of the any folder in the terminal. I want in the particular text, and I want to run that text, and some programming I want to run on that particular text. So at the end, I want to read the text. So, and even instead of generating from that terminal, I want to generate this from the programming language like that Python. So simultaneously, I'm generating this command line through the Python, and I'm trying to read there. So there is a no place where I'm using between any places the terminal, isn't it? I'm not using the terminal. So I want to analyze the entire command through the language itself. So that time I was getting this problem.
Okay. So I should get back to you on that, because I'm not really sure. I have not done that. So I'll maybe I'll ask the other instructor to get back to you on this on Friday. Is that fine? Or you can
Okay,
post
okay.
it on Discourse. If you can post it on Discourse.
I already posted on the discourse, and I solved this problem after using the Python itself to removing manually, iterating about that everything and removing. That's a different thing. But I was thinking, what is the way simply I can get a proper output on the text instead of doing all the iteration through the Python.
Okay, so if you, instead of iterating, there is a different thing. So in week 6 you will be learning about uh, in week 6 you will be learning about like set and awk. Probably using that you can use. And okay, there might be that should be a flag for that. No, just give me a minute. This is also new for me. Can you try this? Maybe no headers. I think this might work. Print no header line at all. Okay, something like that. Because that might be the reason why it is trying to format it. So if you just print out the contents, then it might be giving it in a CSV file or something which you can use to run it.
Can you try to do this? How to use this?
You just have to use, so I can tell you. So you do PS. So this is going to just give you all these, right? So you can see this is space separated delimiter. This is another space separated delimiter. So you can probably do this ps.txt, and then when I do, so you can see this is my space separated delimiter, right? So if you just give me 1 minute, don't worry about this. Oh, awk might not be there. Okay, right. So yeah, try this probably. So this no header should give you a file with this not formatting. So you can use a space delimiter to use that.
So if we use the man, then I have to write the man PS no header.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that is a problem. Okay, so there's some problem with that. It's fine. So yeah, at man PS, I'm not sure. Again, there should be some. Uh,
Yeah, I tried. It was giving the some problem.
try this maybe. So this is another thing, right? So yeah, try this. Try this text copy. Man pipe it into call minus b, and then and then save it in man.txt.
Can you post this on the?
Sorry.
Yeah. Can you give that on the text? Yes,
Zoom
on the
side.
chat.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. It's coming.
Okay, then good, then good.
Okay, so what was that, the logic behind that?
So it is just so the thing is there is some formatting that is happening, right? So that
Okay.
format you just have to remove it.
No, so we don't know about that format, which format is there. So without
So you can
knowing that
run
particular,
a call. So this is what. So this is filter. So it's just filtering that output from your basically just filtering. Okay. Like this is I don't know. Unless you need it, you won't use it. That's the thing.
okay, what is the column hyphen
Yeah.
B is?
So you can open the column. Sorry, call mantage. So it's basically filter reverse line feeds from input. So whatever input you are giving, it is going to filter it out. Utility like out, filters out reverse and half reverse line feeds into the out. Basically, you can just read it. Okay, and here it's just saying it does not give any backspaces, and so basically all those formatting that you have in your terminal, right? It just removes that formatting basically.
Okay, good. So the things means it this problem is happening because I try to run the same command in the three terminal. One is that Mac, one
Hmm.
is the Linux, and one is the another Linux type of Raspberry Pi. So in one it was working. It was giving whenever I use simply man ls and the two in the some text. So it was coming in the same as the terminal, but in the another in the Mac it was not coming. So it's depend on the many terminal, how terminal to terminal, so it is encoding is different in terminal to terminal.
Exactly. Yeah, you could say that. The thing is, even the commands in certain terminals are different from others. So
Correct.
it is very dependent on terminal. Yeah.
And the display also is the different way of their display.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you so much.
So if there are more doubts, we can move on to that. So even if you have doubts from weeks 1, 2, 3, or any general doubts, you can ask. You don't have to restrict yourselves to week 3.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Please.
So in txt files, we can update the file content, or we can completely remove the whole file. But can we delete specific lines or contents from the file using command line?
Yes. Yes. You can.
But
So
how can?
yeah, you can wait till week 6. So week 6 will be about manipulating files. So it will be discussed in week 6.
Okay.
You can do anything in terminal. It's just like a programming language. Okay.
Oh.
So so if you had seen me like some few minutes ago, I was trying with something called awk, right? So that is a tool which you can use to manipulate files.
Okay.
So could you explain how the ln command works?
Okay, ln basically it creates a symbolic link or a hard link of one file to some other file that you want to create. Okay, so I think we have already discussed what hard links and soft symbolic links are. So basically, every file will be having an inode number, which will say where that file is stored in your directory. I mean, in your like wherever you're storing. So suppose you have an SSD, so every file will have something like a pointer, and your inode number is that pointer, right? So ln creates a link from with that file to some other file, and the two types of link that you can create is hard and soft. Hard links will point to the same original file, whereas soft links will point to a copy of the original file. And you just the command is very simple. You just have to put ln the file name that you want to the actual file, and then the file name that you want to create a link for, right? Did you mean this, or do you want something else?
Yes, could you share your screen? Yes.
Okay, sure.
So suppose you do ln.
Yeah, so here you can see, right here, bin is a folder, and bin is a link to this user slash bin. And here, if you see, sbin is also a folder, and it is linked to user slash sbin. So these two are, I think I'll probably put ls minus a here. So, okay, I think we can create some more. Okay, so we'll create. Then I'll create ln. Uh,
ln works even if that the source file does not it's not a correct name.
no. So it is a correct name, right? What do you mean it is not a correct name?
No, suppose instead of giving actual.txt, suppose I write something else, it will still work, I think.
It probably creates that. So it says blah is not in the directory. It does not. Okay, so here if you see, the actual.txt is having one inode number, that is 2097850. The hard link is having the same inode number. So these two files actually point to the same location. So suppose I do. You see, now I appended this line, random lines, to my actual.txt, but then it also got appended to my hard.txt. That is because these two are hard links, right? So suppose I do the same thing. Okay, now I do cat actual. You see the things, right? So whatever you do to this file is happening to this file, and whatever you do to this file is happening to this file. But so now let me cat soft. So the thing is there, and then whatever you do to any of these files, all these files will have the same content. But the only difference between soft and hard link is hard link will point to the same memory location as your original file, but your soft link will create a copy of that original file and point to that. Okay, that is the only difference. So hard links does not even show this that it's a link. So if you see the first character, it says a dash, so it's a file basically. But in case of a soft link, it shows an L. So the soft.txt is nothing but a shortcut to this file actual.txt. That is the only difference. So there are some
this hard link have two I mean number of copies. What is that called?
That is not number of copies. That is which process is beginning, like which process is beginning that. So for example, if you see this dot is like dot is initiated by process one, and then the dot directory, that is the current directory, is initiated in the process in some order two, and then these two files that are initiated in this process two basically. So the number of parent calls or something, it refers to that.
No, like hard links are there. So if we delete any of the hard link, we can still retrieve the copy.
You can retrieve the soft link. I think if you delete the soft link, you can retrieve the copy. Hard link, I'm not sure. Let me test. Yeah, so actual is there. Yeah, you can do that still.
So can you try out one command ln-s?
Then
dirx/file1.
I don't have any directories yet.
No, it'll still work there.
Okay. Do you want me to do this?
dirx/filex.
What is dirx/filex? Okay.
Space file3.
Okay, it is going to say I don't have a directory and I don't have a file3. Yeah.
Okay, on my system this works.
Okay, probably.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Sir, if we delete the actual file, then the links is also removed.
Yeah, the soft link will go, the hard link will stay.
Okay, the hard link is just like a actual copy.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It points to the same place where your file is there. So now this should work. Can't access file 3. Okay. Yeah.
So the previous command works on my system, but the link comes in red when I do lslr.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's happening. I put ls. Sorry for that. File 3 already is okay. Sure.
Can you change the dirx to diry or something just to see if it works?
Okay. So this is what your so hard link, as I said, it's to the actual place where the file is stored, right? So nothing will happen if you change it. Is that what you're talking about?
No, what I was saying was that ln does not check whether that file exists in whether a directory exists. It checks whether a file exists in the present working directory, but it does not check whether the directory exists in the present working directory.
Okay, sure. So probably
So if you just to see if it works on your system, ln-s dir z / okay. Yes, it has worked. Now if you just do ls.
Yeah. Okay, it's not working.
So that is some kind of a bug in ln, or
no, it's not a bug. It's an intended it's an intended functionality, right? So suppose you create some, okay, I'll give you an example. So soft link is basically a shortcut in Windows. Okay, so what generally happens is you, let's say you have a version, okay, that some software is there, and that software is stored in the directory C directory, okay, and C/, programs or something. And in that, suppose the persons who are like basically the programmers, they decide that they want to store all the versions together. They don't want to delete, even if the update happens, they don't want to delete all these versions. So in this case, you what happens is you create a soft link, and then that so shortcut you create to one of these versions, okay. And these versions, when suppose, since the programmer is not deleting it for you, you want to delete it because you don't want your laptop to like waste storage. Basically these are all like old versions. You just want to delete it because you want to clear storage, right? So you delete all those two things, but your soft link will still exist because its shortcut is there in desktop. Let's say that will still exist, but it has nothing to point to. So that is an intended functionality. Like, did I make sense?
Okay, so that would mean that if I create a dir/z/file, then it will point to that.
Yeah, it will go. It will point to that. Yeah, it will point to a copy of that. That is what soft link is technically.
Okay, right now you have created the soft link file for to dir/z/file. So if you do mkdir dir/z and within that you touch file, will it point to that?
It is pointing to that.
Okay.
Again, this will come handy when you have version control system. So during the installation process, you delete that previous version and you install the next version, but all the names and all of the directories are same. So again, probably this will help in case of version control system.
Thank you, sir.
Here, double ampersand we are using to, I mean, in
Yeah.
sequence running two commands. We can also put it semicolon here.
Yeah, you can do that. So I think that why that thing is there, I'll tell you. So semicolon means even if the first command fails, the second command will run. But when you have double ampersand, only if the first command passes, the second command will run. Okay. So you get why I put a double ampersand here and not a semicolon here. Only if I have a directory Z, I can touch a file in directory Z. If I don't have the directory Z, I can't touch that. So
Sure.
let's say, so you got my point. Yeah.
That part of making hard link, soft link, and deleting the copy of either hard link or soft link.
Yeah.
I mean, can you please go through that again? It's there.
Okay,
I mean, we haven't done control else. Oh.
You haven't done what?
No, I mean, before doing control L, everything was there at the top of the shell.
Okay, so I don't have anything in my directory. I create two files. I create actual, and then I create, -s.
This is the hard link we created. Now this is the soft link we are creating.
I'm creating. So now if I put ls -lia, so these are the three things that are there. So now let's say I append something. Okay, now if I cat soft link, cat hard link, everything will have that thing. Now if I append something to, okay, so now I cat actual. So whatever updates you do to any of these 3 files, it will update to all the 3 files. Now I delete actual. Now I delete hard link. So actual won't be deleted, of course. Now I delete actual. So my soft link does not know where it should point to, but if I so basically this is what it does. Basically it does not know where it should point to, so nothing will be printed.
No,
So
we removed one of the
actual.
copies of see, actual and hard. Both are the same thing, referring to the same memory
No,
location.
not the same thing. They're not the same thing. Wait. Then I should create this, right? Yeah. So these are all the 3 things that I have, and if I do cat soft, so you see nothing is there because nothing is stored in actual, right? So now if I delete, so now what do you want me to do? So hard also is having the same thing, soft also is having the same thing, actual is also having the same thing. Now instead of, now I'll delete actual. Okay, so if I do ls minus lia, so you see soft is pointing to actual. Okay, and if I do rm hard, sorry, I think I made a mistake. Sorry, just a minute. Okay, so now I'll do rm actual, and then so you see, even though my inode number of actual and soft is same, even sorry, inode number of hard and actual is same, but my soft will say it does not have anything to print. So if I do ls hard, so it is going to say hard.txt, but if I do, sorry, not ls, cat.
So why it is happening that way? Could you please explain?
That is because my hard link, even though so basically my hard link will point to that location where my data is stored. Okay, it is not going to store that data, but my data will be stored only in that file actual.txt, and my hard link will point to that location. Soft link will point to what is stored in that actual.txt and not to that location.
So that location being the same. So what we are saying that we from the same location we are having so many copies of that location in so many different files. Is it what we are saying?
Sorry, I didn't get you there.
Like this is the location 2097850, which was
Yeah.
having 2 different files, hard.text and actual.text.
Yeah.
So but then these two are just the different file names or total different entities?
They are different entities. Those are different files. So if they're same, if they're just file names and point to that location, then if I had deleted actual, hard should have been deleted, right? But they're completely different from one another. That is a hard link. So hard links will point to that location where actual is stored. Okay, that is a difference. But in this soft link and your actual file, they are the same entity, kind of.
Why
So
I'm asking,
whatever.
because whatever changes I'm doing in one of the files, the same is reflecting throughout. Correct?
Yeah.
So that is happening just because of that same memory location.
Yes. It is. Yeah. It is a same memory location. Yes.
So changes which we are doing, that is not happening in the file, but in the memory location.
Of course, all the data that is stored is happening in the memory location only. The file is nothing but an accessor of that memory location.
So just to understand,
soft.txt is a soft link to actual.txt, but it is reading the content from the memory location, which is very well there.
No. Soft.txt does not work like that. So soft link will access the data that is stored in your actual.txt, and actual.txt is reading from that memory location.
Yes. So, but
hard.txt
the
will
data
be
is stored in the memory location or where?
data is stored in the memory location. Soft links will access the data that is stored in your actual.txt, and actual.txt will access the data stored in the memory location. Hard link will directly access the data that is stored in the memory location.
Okay, so because this link is broken because of deleting this actual.txt, that is why soft.txt is not able to read anything now.
Yes, it does not know what to read from.
Actually, where it is pointing, that pointer is not leading anywhere. Okay, got it.
So just to understand this further, this means that RM does not actually delete the data at that memory location. It will just sort of unlink the file from the file system.
Yeah. So I think it depends on which like OS you are using. So all these data that is being used, that they'll be stored in the cache memory, and once it has not been used for some time, it will automatically delete itself. So like sometimes in movies and all, they say, right, if you delete a file, it does not get deleted immediately. You can still recover it. That is what is happening here also. You are exactly what you said.
Okay. That is why even after deleting actual, we can still see the data at that inode.
Yeah.
Okay.
So suppose you want to create backups, then you probably should use hard.txt, because it is pointing to that location, and you won't have multiple scenarios of that data. And since my data is still referred by hard.txt, that cache will not clear that data location. It will just move it to your slower memory.
Okay, sir.
Right. I think a lot of things are here. Like, if you still have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, don't worry too much about hard links and soft links. They are just some. They like most of the users right now. You won't be using it for most of the users, except for creating backups and all. But it's whatever knowledge you know right now. It should be more than enough. All right. Are there more questions? Okay. So if there are no more questions, we can probably like pack for today. Okay. What is the difference between and Coprock? Yeah. What is this and I don't understand. What can you can you tell me what you're asking?
So for running process in background, there are two commands we use. One is the ampersand symbol and the other is the coproc symbol. So what is the difference between these two?
It's like there is no much difference. It's just how the things are handled in the backend.
Sir has mentioned in the lecture that the coproc symbol is running asynchronously. I did not understand what does that mean.
That's what it refers how it handles in the background. That's it. Like, so asynchronously means so suppose basically how do I say? Let's say your CPU is utilized for some task, and in between tasks it gets for 2 minutes it is heavily used. For 1 minute it is not that much used, and for 2 minutes it's heavily used. Okay, so asynchronously what happens is, in that 1 minute which is not heavily used, your Coprock will make use of that time and then run it. But whereas and will schedule it, and then whenever all your processes are done, it will schedule, it will execute the command. Like, it is just how things are managed in the backend. Like, you don't have to worry much about how it is managed. I hope that made sense.
Okay, so there is no difference between I mean the shell
Right now,
the
for
command is
whatever for I mean for whatever like use you are using it, there's no difference.
So there was one more doubt regarding the bash shell. We can we open another bash shell from our terminal, current bash shell?
Yes, you can.
So using the bash command.
Yeah, if you use the bash command, what will happen is it will create a sub shell, and then you can run whatever programs you want inside that sub shell. So whenever you use Coprock or like ampersand, right? So that creates a subshell, and whatever program that runs in that, it's running in that subshell.
But when we use
There's
the
one
bash
more
command, we cannot see that shell, sir.
Yeah, that is because that shell is interactive. So when you run this bash, so probably I can show that, right? So just give me a minute. So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So if I do this flag that I have, so you see the first tag, right? H is human readable, I for interactive. So whatever bash shell that I am running here is I. So suppose I do this. So, yeah. And this is interactive. Okay, basically it's interactive bash. That's the thing.
But sir, if we create another bash shell using the bash command with interactive argument, it should show up, right? But it doesn't.
It's showing up, right? So now suppose I do this. Yeah, now it is not showing because it's inside that bash shell. If you see, so if you go exit, then it is showing. Right. So you got the thing, right? So here, so now if I execute this command, so what happens is first it is going to execute this bash command, and then it will execute this command. So only after this bash command exits, it is going to execute this command. So now if I enter, you see this is not executed, right? So I can do whatever I want here. So I can do this, I can do ls, whatever I want here. And when I exit, so you see my bash is exiting, and as well as my this is also printing out. So this also is printing. So you see that it has created a different bash shell.
Okay, so it will be in the same terminal window.
Ideally, this should be. Really, this should give you without I, but I'm not sure why it should giving you with I. But whatever bash that you create should be in the same terminal. Will be in the same terminal window. Yeah. So why that might be useful or something is so once you if at all you want to extend your knowledge about bash programming, there's one thing called tmux. Okay, so right now you don't have to worry, like you don't have to even know about it. So this tmux is something like a background processor. It will do things synchronously, not asynchronously, and you can have multiple bash terminals in a bash terminal. So that will be useful when you use cloud computing. Right now you don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
And in another case why you would want to run bash inside your terminal is sometimes your terminal which you are running might be different. So there's something called ZSH, and there are other flavors of terminal. But you might want to use bash. So in that case, you over ZSH you can run bash. That is also another use case. And whatever bash programs that you write, shell scripts that you write, those will be executed in a sub bash shell. It won't be executed in the same bash shell.
Okay, sir.
Is it possible to run more than one coproc at a time?
Of course, it is possible. So that is what I'm saying. So once you learn about tmux and all, you can run as many cells as you want. It is just limited by the amount of CPU power you have.
Because I just did a coproc sleep 10, and then before it completed, I tried once more executing coproc, but that gave an error saying that it's already running in the background.
So that is because it's coproc, right? So you can do other so that's what. So there's something called tmux. So you can do tmux. That will also execute in background only.
Okay.
All right. So if there are any more questions, we'll take it up. Otherwise, we can take it up on the Friday session. So I'll wait for maybe like 5 more minutes, and then we'll pack the session. All right. Yeah. Thank you everyone for attending. You can leave now if you want.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.